So, hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And Obama, Trump, and Bolsonaro, among others. There might be more. I'm going to go into the similarities between all of them and why is it that nothing has changed since Trump. As usual, I am Earthling yada yada yada, and I have no idea how much I can bench press. That might be a cool thing to find out. But I did used to run around 12 miles 3 days a week. That's collectively per week. Anyway, I have a master's, MBA, computer science degree. I got a scholarship a long time ago. And I take care of my uncle, who is 75 years old and has dementia. So that's me. Now, I've done one of these pieces, I think, before, as, with respect to the future of America, let's put it that way. But let's look at this angle. So Obama, he was supposed to be one of the first presidents. Well, I don't think there were too many other presidents since social media has evolved, but he used social media very well in his campaigns, as far as I know. This was a new thing. He used it well against Hillary Clinton and the other contenders for the Democratic nomination. And I think he had a good infrastructure in place. I don't think Hillary Clinton used it very much. I don't know if that was anything to do with her specifically or what, but he, or at least his campaign management team, was very savvy with respect to social media. Of course, the king of them all, Donald Trump, I mean, as people would say now, he single-handedly on his own controlled his Twitter account. Maybe other people did, but I'm sure nobody put out as much stuff as he did. He had tweet storms, hundreds of tweets in a single day sometimes. So even though he was born long after social media came out, it was as if he was born to use it, let's be honest. And given all of his followers, he used it very, very well, to the point where, he did not want to leave, and he expressed that quite well to his followers through his Twitter account. Of course, Bolsonaro of Brazil, he apparently, or his campaign team, used social media quite a lot in Brazil. That I don't know that he has or tweets quite as much as, I don't think so. I don't think anybody tweets quite as much as Trump. But the people below him, as far as I know, they used WhatsApp and WhatsApp groups, etc. very, very efficiently. Now, the thing about it is that, of course, Trump has been, banned from many forms of social media, which is why, let's be real, if he was on social media and he was able to talk as much as he had in the past, there is no way that the media would not be covering it. There is no way that the media would not be covering what he thought of X, Y, Z, W, whatever. The only reason that we don't know exactly what he thinks is because he has been banned. Now, the thing about it is that the next president, especially the one who wants to keep his position as a leader of America, despite what any polls say, will more than likely be more immersed in social media than either Barack Obama or Donald Trump or even Bolsonaro. And the ability is still there in Facebook, on WhatsApp, all of these social media platforms, the ability to do what Trump did is still there. And, you know, it's maybe like the right to bear arms kind of thing, but so much worse is that people have the ability to go out and buy you know, weapons of human destruction, of human scale destruction in many countries, not just the US. In many countries, people can go out and get their hands on more weapon, more firepower than they realistically need for almost any purpose. And that's likely to remain the case. And I guess it's likely to remain the case that the scenario that got us to this riot on Capitol Hill is going to continue to exist, because none of the social media platforms have announced any kinds of changes that would prevent. I mean, you know, for example, with respect to the stock market, if stocks are selling too rapidly, there will be something like a circuit breaker, right? A circuit breaker to say that, hey, we're gonna cut off selling for the next couple of hours, or for a day, or for however long it is. We are going to stop doing whatever it is that we're going to do, and we're going to stop trading, and that's across the world. That these regulations have been put in place as things happened, and now even in China, wherever it is, anytime things get to be too heated, people call a timeout, and they've understood that, and they've put successive layers of regulations for that purpose. There was, you know, Trump has been deplatformed, as they say, but what have the social media companies learned? What have they learned? I don't know that they have learned, like, to put a specific thing in place. It's just like, is it going to be going forward? Yeah, if something horrible happens, then we'll do something. Is that all that they have learned? That after the fact, after things get bad enough and people die, then they will say, okay, let's see what we can do about that. So, or is it going to be like Sandy Hook or any of these other, you know, mass shootings where thoughts and prayers go out to the people who have been hurt, and thoughts and prayers, and we should not politicize the event at the US Capitol Hill. We should not use it for political mileage, because blah 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 blah. Because, you know, it is a business decision at the end of the day to have kept Trump and all these other world leaders on. And it's understandable. It's completely understandable. Nobody wants to end up like Google or Facebook in China. If you don't bend the knee to whatever country or the leader of whatever country you're in, then you're probably not going to be in that country. And if Facebook or Twitter or any social media platform, or even the people who provide the services like Amazon, if they jump the gun before the wave turns against the leader, then I guess they could be the target of an attack in terms of their services or their platforms being banned in a specific country because they're not giving the person who has the power the platform to keep doing whatever it is they do. So, to be perfectly honest, even though it makes logical sense to not allow people to get to the point where they do things on social media where they incite people to the point where something bad happens, it is unlikely that any social media platform will want to have their business shut out of any specific country because they are trying to look out for that country. So unfortunately, it stands to reason we should expect that as leaders become more and more social media savvy, per se. I mean, I'm surprised that I hear all of these complaints about how, in China, they censor this and they censor that, and they pass laws saying that you can't make fun of the national anthem, and you can't speak out against Xi. And I'm just surprised that there aren't people who, at least I don't hear about it. I don't hear about, for example, Xi using Twitter himself, or any of these people in China for that matter. Well, not Twitter. Their version of it, for example, Weibo. Is it Weibo or Weibo? I don't know. But it could be that it's just not necessary. It could just be that for now it's not necessary. But there will be a time when all of the potential leaders will have been born after social media. And the most savvy amongst them may be whoever can wield social media the best, who has the best wisecracks and comebacks and whatever it might be. And, I think one of the reasons why Trump personally was able to use Twitter so well is because he did not waste, in quotes, so much time on garnering other skills, on being able to, for example, lead well. So he had a lot of time to spend, an effort and energy to spend drumming up support over and over. And he had a long time, for example, somebody like The Rock. The Rock uses his social media a lot. And just like Trump, he might be able to leverage that thing. I was looking at it. He has 214 million followers on Instagram. I don't know how, if he wants to run for office, especially as he already supported Joe Biden, I think, and he still has 214 million followers on Instagram. I mean, of course, he's international, so more international than Trump would have been. But yeah, I mean, in the same way that Netflix really looks for stars and comedians and whoever that have a large following on social media, which is very wise of them, that might be the power, the leverage that future politicians have. I mean, even AOC, for example. So it really, I guess there's no real way to prevent people from using it for evil, per se, because if they can't, then they will go to the platform that allows them to do exactly what it is that they want to do. I would say that for the next guy that comes around, though, you have to get people used to your alternate platform. You have to put stuff up on your website, send links to your website with some media, some tricks, some gifts, some whatever, to make sure that people are in the habit of going to your alternate site to see your stuff in case you get deplatformed. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me. Feel free to like, dislike, watch more of my stuff, subscribe, any of that stuff, the same way you'd like it if somebody did that for you. Have a good one. Peace.